This conference will now be recorded.
All right, this is chapter number 5 for MySewnet, the Windows version. And this lesson is going to cover selection, grouping and ungrouping of embroideries. So that's the main focus of this lesson. So go ahead and click on your MySewnet embroidery system and double click. And it's going to open up to the welcome screen, and we're going to pick a blank canvas. And this time we want our hoop to be a 360 by 260. So you can select your Viking or Fock, or you can use the universals. I'm going to click that, and our orientation this time is rotated. So we're going to go ahead here and click rotated, and then say, or click on OK. So now we're going to select a single embroidery and also select multiple embroideries. So what we want to do is go to the Super tab, Super Design tab. So click on that. And we want to scroll down to Cute Animals. So Cute Animals, and we want Cute Animals number 1. And we are looking for the sheep, which is number 3. So let's click on him and keep him at his default settings here and click apply. So let's go ahead then and grab a hold of him. Remember, when your mouse turns to the 4 hours, your arrows, you're ready to move. So we're gonna grab him and just kind of get him over here and out of the way. After you've done that, go ahead and click on the pig and select the pig and say apply and let him right in the center of the screen. And then we're going to select the cow and say apply. And then take your cow and move him down a little bit to the right, down and to the right. And we might need to move these around a little bit more. But you can see that right now the last thing we brought in was the cow. He has green handles because he's a super design. And you can also see over here in the film strip that he's the one that is selected. So if you click anywhere outside the hoop, that would deselect everything. And if you press the tab key, you can tab through the designs that you have loaded. So if you do have many loaded and you're not sure what's what, you can always use your tab key. It's just another way for you to navigate through the designs. But always remember, you got that film strip up there now, so that makes it very easy to select right into the film strip. So what we're going to do next is a multiple select. And this is number 18 in the lesson. And what we're going to do is we're going to hold down the control key. And then we're going to click on either embroideries. And we can do it here, or I'm going to deselect everything one more time and show you that I could just go up here and click each one through the film strip. So the dashed lines of the selection box says that everything within here is going to be in the larger selection. but you can still edit them because you can see you got your little green boxes around them, so they could still be edited. And the dotted line is telling you that everything's in the group. And the orange handle at this point is the selection handle. So click on the upper right handle and slide it to the right and up several grid squares to release and change the size of the entire selection. So I can grab this here and bring it up and out. And if you take a look here, remember those are super designs. When we did that, the stitch count increased because it's basically redigitizing because it's a super design. And then if we give it a undo and click outside the work area, we get rid of all the selection things. So there's more than one way to select. So moving on to number 22 on your handout in your book. First thing I'm gonna do, I'll put those guys a little closer together. So we're gonna go from the Super Design tab over to the Home tab. Okay, so we did touch on these select tools, but we're gonna use them again. We touched on them the other day when we had a single design in the screen. So we can do, again, the box select. So if we click on box select, now we could just draw the box select around the pig. And being careful that we don't catch the cow, but we might. Okay, so you noticed what happened there is I didn't have the whole pig selected, so it unselected everything. So it will make me select a complete design. So the sheep is not close to the cow, so I'm going to use him. And there, box select, I pull it around, I release, and he is selected. Now, that tool's fine for the sheep because he's kind of out there by himself. But now we're going to try some of the other tools, and we used them before, but not on multiples. So now we're going to go to click on the box select drop down and click on Freehand Select. So now you got to be kind of pretty good with the mouse, and we're going to lasso up one of these guys. So I'm going to be kind of strategic and try to lasso the cow. And, you know, doing this with the mouse is not the most fun, but trying to do it with your finger on the little trackpad is even worse. So I do recommend when you're getting into the software and starting to do a little bit of more detailed work, you are probably going to want to have a mouse or a pencil. Okay, so that was the Freehand Select, and that worked fine for him. I had enough room, I could get around there. So let's say that you are not real great with the mouse. So let's go up there to box select, and this time we're going to use the point select. So I'm going to do the point select on the pig. So you can see I have the other icon dragging around on my mouse. So I'm going to click and put the points down. And the thing to remember about point select is if he accidentally came down here like this, I can come back in and edit that point or edit that part of the selection tool and drag him back up so he's just by the pig and not cutting something off from the cow. And then when I right click, it goes ahead and we have the pig selected. So those tools are giving you options based on the amount of precision you need in your particular selection. If you're on the Modify tab, you have some more selection opportunities as well. So what we want to do now is select the box select. So with the box select, we can select one, or we click it again, and I can select the whole thing. All right. None of the embroideries are selected because we just put them into the group. And remembering that if you only get part of it, it won't select any of them. So again, we're going to go and do an undo. I'm going to do one more undo to unget my, there you go. I'm going to make sure nothing's unselected. Excuse me, nothing's selected. Move him down here a little bit. Okay, so another way we can tackle that is by going to select all. So select all, I have everything. So the whole shebang is considered a group, and I can move them around as a group. So if I get them set the way I want, with the right distance between them, I can move them all at once then to keep that intact. And if I click on select none, everything's deselected. And you can see it happening on the screen and also within the film strip. So let's go ahead and select all of them. And you can do that, your choice. You can do the box select. You can come over here and go click, click, click. Whoopsie, whoopsie. I meant click, control, click, click, and get them all selected. And because we have more than one thing selected, we can use the alignment tool. So if I go up here to alignment and click the little arrow down for some other options, we're going to go to vertical alignment now, and we're going to say align the bottom. So that is going to go ahead and put all the feet, all the designs on the same plane. So if we want to group the designs, we can right click in the selection box to bring up the group. So I can right click in here and I have the group. So I can make them all the group. Okay, and you notice that my dashed line now became a solid line. So if I click here, they still are in the group. Okay. Use the group or group the designs to permanently or make them temporary groups. Grouping saves you time, so you don't have to reselect each one. And if you want to see what the groups are, remember the eyeball down here? I think it looks like an eyeball. Click on reveal the groups, and then they're still in the group, but they're editable individually. So if I did want to edit them individually, I could keep them where they were. Let's say I'm on the sheep right now, and I'm guessing that the white is the sheep's fur. So, and I can see if I highlight it, it is the sheep's fur. So if I click on that, double click, and while he's still in the group, I can make him the black sheep and say, okay. And I did that, but the group is still intact. Okay. So let's go ahead and click back onto the sheep only, and I still have him selected. Let's make the sheep a little smaller, and we want it to stay in proportion, so we're gonna hold down the shift key, grab one of the corners, and make the sheep a little smaller. Again, the group remains intact. Now we're going to click on the pig, and so you can see that the pig has his 3 colors are up now. He's the only one selected. And we're going to change the size of the pig. And we're going to make him overlap the sheep. So I'm going to go to, doesn't really tell you which way to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and say modify the design. And I want the pig to be 89 wide. 89. It didn't like, oh, my nums is not 89. Okay, I take that back. It's not letting me change them in there. Well, let's do it this way. So cancel out of that. So now I'm just going to go ahead and grab a hold of the pig and hold down my control key so it goes in proportion and make that pig about 89 by 64. So 89, I'm gonna release a little more of a nudge. I was just guessing. Okay, so now we want the pig overlapping the sheep a little bit. So grab him and move him over so he's overlapping the black sheep. Okay, now click on the cow and let me see how I want to do this. Let's go to, well, let me right click, will that work? It's not going to let me do it exactly the way I want to. Okay, so, okay, there we go, properties. Okay, so right click over the cow, it'll bring up the drop down and then I'm going to click on properties and I'm going to make the size 96 and it should keep it in proportion and go ahead and say okay to the cow. And then when I look over here, it made the cow bigger than it was supposed to be, but that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and make him overlap the pig a little bit. So that's what he's doing. I'm going to make him a little smaller. Control, I'm going to nudge him down a little bit. Click off, click on. Okay, took him to 125. He's still a little bigger than we want him to be. So I'm gonna grab that, nudge it down, get him a little closer to that number of 96. Okay, that's close. Close enough. And so we want him to overlap the pig a little bit as well. So now I want to do a horizontal flip of the cow. So I could click right here and then the cow would be facing the other direction. And then just click it again and he's back the way he was. So when you have them in the group, you can individually mirror them. But if you want them to mirror the whole group, then in this case, we need to do the combine. And the combine is right here. So if I want to mirror them all together, I'm going to have to go ahead and combine them. So I'm going to combine all, and then I'm going to come over and then I could mirror the whole farmland. There you go. If a group is combined, the attributes of the parts are lost. So now we have them all combined together. And just for entertainment, let me see if I click on reveal groups, will it let me go back? Not going back. Okay, so there's a little thing to be making a note of. When you combine them, then you're at the point where you can't get them separated again without some other editing. All right, so we've done that, and now what I want to do is I want you to go over to the design player up here on the top and click on that. And what I want you to watch for is that it automatically took out some of the overlap. So when we watch, I'm going to speed it up a little bit for stitch out. Speed, faster, 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 faster. And I want you to notice how it will cut out and not so like the cow's face. Oh, you'll see it here in a second. See how you don't have the pig, the sheep stopped. Let me stop it. Okay, so the sheep, instead of filling all the way through, it did not. It removed the overlap so that you don't have all those stitches just laying on top of each other for no reason. And then likewise when the cow's face. And every time you click this, the faster it's going to go. If you want to go right to the end. So there you go. He's putting the pig in. But you notice over here on the back side of the pig, right here, I'm going to stop it again. I want you to look and see, here is the cow's face. So again, the pig didn't sew itself all the way out. And that is what remove the overlap is all about. And so when you're done watching that, you can go ahead and cancel out of there or X out of there. Now, click on the reveal groups again to go back to the group, which I don't think it's going to do it. It will not go back to the group from there. Because I already combined them. So what it says in the step number 39 is not working. So let me deselect, and now let me go to box select once. Box select. Let me drag that around them all. And again, it has them. It's not going to reveal the groups. Okay, so the combine made it so you can't really do that. Okay, so we have them all there, and I'm going to mirror them back the other way. Okay, and then I'm going to center them. I just did it manually, but you could use your alignment tools. And I'm going to go to the frame tab. So frame is right over there by Super Designs. And in the frame tab, we are going to do a frame. And we are looking for floral. So click your drop down, your gallery viewer, and we are looking for floral 1, floral 1, MC, and we're going to come out here and see what frame number 8 is. That looks like frame number 8 to me. So click on him and click apply. And click apply. Okay, and it made the frame. Mine doesn't look like what it said. Okay, it made the frame go around the whole thing. So that wasn't what I really wanted, so I'm going to give it an undo. And then we'll go click my drop down again, and I get myself mixed up on this all the time. We want to go to frame number 8 in this line. For whatever reason, I look at these and they make me pick the wrong one, above or below, never at the right place. So now go ahead and click apply. And you're going to notice because we had the animals selected, it made the frame fit right to the around the animals. So let's go ahead and grab those animals and move them down a little bit. Okay, I can see that I have a little dilemma here, that it's not letting me. Well, let's go to reveal groups. Now, if I go to reveal groups, now I can click on just the animals and move the animals down a little bit. Okay. So we had to do the reveal group, and it let it do us now because we have more than one design in the on the screen. So hold down the control key in the film strip and select the 3 animals, which we have them like that. And adjust it so the nose of the cow is about in the middle of the screen, which is pretty much where he is. Okay. Now, we need to leave some room up here so we can put some lettering in. So now we are going to go to click reveal groups again, so it goes back to the group with the frame. So, okay, so now we have everybody in the one place in the film strip. All right, so they're selected. So now we are going to go to the letter in the frame tab. Excuse me, I think this is a typo. On number 46 in the frame tab in the retro category, go to Jingo. And so let's make a little correction there because that should be in the font in the letter tab. Okay, so let's go to the letter tab. And now let's use the viewer and do our drop down. And we're going to the category of retro. And remember, they're in some sort of somebody's alphabetical order. That's what I like to say, somebody's alphabetical order. And then let's go ahead and click on Django. So Django is right there. So we're going to click on him. And we are going to, in all lowercase, in the letter box, we're going to type in farm animals in all small letters. Farm life, excuse me. Farm life. And we want the default 25 and click apply. All right. So move the lettering to the top of the frame and select it approximately there. Okay. And so now we have a little farm life with some flowers. And now, of course, we need a little farmer. So to find our farmer, we're going to go to Super Designs. And we're going to go into the Tassels category. So using my viewer, I'm going to look around down here for tassels. And borders, buttonholes, cartoons, retro. And if I can't find it, I'm going to use that lovely search feature, corners, felting, twin. I don't see tassels here. I'm going to keep looking though, because that way you can see all the awesome designs that are in here. So they might be tricking me. It might not be called tassels. Holidays, sewing. All right, I'm getting ready to go up to the top, and I'm going up to the top. Oh, there we go, tassels, all the way down there. So we want to go to the girl, which is design 5. So let's click on her. And let's keep the default size, which is 102, and click apply. And then when you do that, move the girl up and off and over to the left of the frame. Ready? Like so. I can see that my other group is quite large. So let's grab him and let's drag him down a little bit. So then, okay, get the farm life. Click on the farm life and then move that back down there. So we have room for our little farmer girl. Okay. Now, you're probably saying, Self, why is this called tassels? And the reason is when you embroider her and cut the bobbin thread, she's going to have a fringy little pigtail. And that will be quite cute. I'm pretty sure you've done that where it's going to stitch like that. And then down underneath on the back side, you're going to clip the bobbin threads. And then she's going to have a little fuzzy, her hair will be fuzzy. So the little farm girl needs some more things. She needs some accessories. So let's get her some accessories by going to the home one. So home one. Okay. I'm just going to go right over here, I guess, and I'm going to go to home. Okay. So if I click the drop down, then all my stuff that's under the category of home is sitting here. So we are looking for the carrot. So click on the carrot, click apply, and go ahead and the carrot went in the middle. Let's get her carrot and let's put that carrot right in her hand. Okay, and now we're in the home. So let's go into home, and this time let's get her a watering can. So go down to home 3, watering can. There we go. So click on that, and the size you're gonna tell it to apply, and there's the little watering can. Okay, so let's take a look here. Things look a little big, so let's go ahead on the watering can, and I'm going to hold the control key down and bring her down a little bit. Move it over to her hand now. Okay, and still we got circles, so we know what that means. That means it's outside of the hoop, and we cannot embroider it like that. Okay, and the carrot, that's a carrot, had a lot of Miracle-Gro, but let's make him a little bit smaller. Yeah, still a pretty big carrot, but we'll call that good. All right, so now get them the way you want them to be. Take a minute or two on that. And then we are going to make them into a group. So if we want to change one thing, we can move these 3 components as one. So to do that, we are going to go over to the film strip, click on her, hold the control key, and come down and click on the other 3 components over here in the film strip. Now, if I go ahead and right click, I'm going to get the all the info is going to come down there, and they call it a context menu, and I've never called it that. But anyway, at the top of that, go ahead and say make it a group. So click on there, and now we made it a group. We can tell it's group. How? Because it has a solid line, and also you can still see your components of the group are also selected, so you can individually mess around with any of the things. So if you want to just mess with the water can, for example, we can go to reveal the group, and there's the components of her, and then I could just click on the watering can, and then I could, do a little more manipulating to that. Okay, so turn the eyeball off, and then they're all back sitting there in the group. Okay. So we're going to take the little girl and all her little toys that go with her, and we're going to move her over here so she's kind of in the middle of the whole thing. Okay, and we want her to stand on it, possibly. You can decide which way she looks best. We have that as number 1. We have this as number 2, or you could put her down here in the corner as number 3. Okay, and if you want to pick one of those, fine. But if I was picking this one, I'm going to come back up here and go control this one, control the farm life, unclick her, click out, click off. Okay, deselect everything, then I'm gonna click on the animals and the farm life, and now that's in a group, and I'm gonna move this over here like this. Okay. And I kind of like it like that. I'm gonna grab her again and just move her up a little bit so they're kind of on the same plane. All right, so all of them looks good. See which one you want, and then we're going to go ahead and take this and put it onto a cute tote bag to take to the farmer's market. So when I get the question of why do I want to download those extended sets, so you are going to get access to these background. Some of that stuff is going to be in there, like fabric types, t-shirts, whatever little things you might want to put an embroidery on. So before we begin, we're going to go Control, and we're going to click so everything is in the, oh, let's deselect everything and then deselect everything. And now click everything together. And now we have them as a group. And we're going to back over to the Home tab and click on Group. Okay, so now the whole thing is one. All right. So let's take a look at this embroidery and put it on the tote by using the background wizard. Okay, so in the View tab, which is on that top ribbon bar pretty close to the Help, click on View. And now here in the View, we see the background wizard, which is right here. So what we're going to do is click on that, and then you're going to get a pop-up that's asked you what kind of thing do you want to do your embroidery on. So under type, we're going to click on garments. We're going to say next. I'm going to tell it to load a background. And we're going to go to bags and hats. And we are going to go to tote bags. Okay. And we are going to select the tote bag number 1, green _ medium, which remember when we hover, it sees the name. That one says dark green. We want the light green. We want the medium green. Okay, so click on that and say okay to finish. Okay, there we have our bag, and then say finish. Okay, and we're going to click on the realistic view 3D, and there we have, takes away the hoop, and then we're going to grab a hold of the zoom slider. Let me get my little meeting stuff out of the way for a minute. Okay. And then I'm going to grab a hold of the zoom slider and bring it into about 30%. And you can slide it. I can do that too. Just do a couple at a time. And that's still too big. I can do it this way. I can do 25, and I'm going to plus it up to 30. Whoops. 30. Okay. So apparently you had a bad job placing your embroidery right there at that point. So what we can do now is click on the design to select it. Okay, so we got the whole shebang there, and move it down to the center of the bag. And voila, there you go. You know what it's going to look like. Click outside the selection box. Now wait a minute. This has a, okay, so curious there. It might be too big because I'm still seeing the circles. So what we're going to do is go zoom to fit, which is the little cross right there inside the square. Looks exactly the same on your Viking and Pfaff machine. Zoom to fit works the same way, looks the same. So click on that, and then click on 3D view. And tell it to remove the background. And you can tell that that design is too big and I have it too far down in the hoop. Okay, so let's go back and give it an undo or two. 1, 2. Okay. So now let's go to the background wizard. So basically what happened there is, I'm going to click through this real quick, load the background, bags, hats, etc., tote bags. And I think the thing is, I have the design the way I did it, it's too big. And so when I say okay, and finish, you see that time it looked like it worked. Okay, so click on the design to select it and move it to the center of the bag. Okay, so I should be able to select it right now and move it to the center of the bag, which means it's going to be down here, which is not what we want. Oh, I know. Okay, so go zoom to fit. Zoom to fit. Okay, and then, so something's happening here on my view. Let's go back to 3D real estate. Okay, now let's go zoom to fit. And for whatever reason, it is not getting it so I can move it to where I need it, which looks like it'll be right there. Okay. Interesting. All right, so every time you do this, you get a little bit of a situation. So let's go ahead and remove the background. Okay, and then click on the 3D view. All right, and then let's go to the Home tab and tell it to center in the hoop. Okay, so then you can save it, you can export it, and it's really cute. And if you look on page 13 in your book in this lesson, you can see how adorable her pigtails are when you trim them. They'll get that little fringy thing. So you can save, you can export, but let's just click over here on Tassels again. So, and let's take a look at those designs, because look at the designs you have that have the little tassels available. You got porcupine, you got a horse, lemur, you got Pepe Le Pew, and you got a witch. So these are the designs that right now have the tassels intact as part of the super designs when you actually create with them. So I can tell you that I need to mess around with that background wizard a little bit more, but thank you for tuning in to watch this little part of the lessons on MySewnet embroidery. See you soon.